It wasn't just a debate gone wrong for Keir Starmer. It was a moment raw, unfiltered, where the room turned cold. He didn't just lose control. He lost the room. Because when Kemban stood up, she didn't waste time. She came in swinging. "Thank you, Mr. Speaker," she began, voice sharp, measured. "I thank the Prime Minister for early sight of his statement." Then came the strike. But let's be honest. He's been dodging questions for 2 whole weeks. And now he's finally back only to repeat what we've already seen on the news? She didn't flinch. This was more than criticism. This was a reckoning. "It's a weak statement," Bond thundered. "From a weak Prime Minister, it can be summed up in 2 words: noises off." The chamber rippled. Then she quoted him directly. "We urge Iran and Israel to honor the ceasefire." And then the blow. "Every lever is being used?" Really? Which levers? The same ones he's using to beg his own party to behave? The Labour front bench sat in stunned silence. "Let's be honest," she said. "Nobody cares what this Prime Minister thinks. And why should they? He doesn't even know what he thinks." The Speaker stepped in, trying to calm the uproar. But the damage was already done. Bonn wasn't finished. "We used to be strategic players on the world stage. Now, we're just sidelined." As tensions escalated in the Middle East, Britain wasn't leading. It was trailing behind, or worse, completely out of the loop. Last week, the Prime Minister returned from the G7 summit confident. He insisted President Trump said nothing about imminent military action. Days later, U.S. warplanes hit Iranian nuclear sites. The Prime Minister had no idea, Bond said. He was asleep at the wheel. Then came the Israel strikes, and the revelation that Britain, despite reportedly taking part in prior operations, wasn't even told. Is this what standing tall on the global stage looks like? And there was more. On Tuesday, even the Foreign Secretary, a lawyer, couldn't say whether the U.S. strikes were legal. "This government is paralyzed," Bond pressed. "And worse, we've got an attorney general, more interested in restraining Britain with international law than defending it." Then came the gut punch. "We don't need more lawyers. We need leaders. Instead, we have 3 lawyers at the top, dithering while the world burns." And finally, she turned to something that struck a deeper nerve: Diego Garcia. "I wrote to the Prime Minister last week," she said, "about that $30 billion chaos of a surrender deal. The U.S. used that base extensively during the Afghanistan war. It's critical, strategic. And yet the Prime Minister insists Russia, China, and Iran all oppose the new agreement to hand it over. But it's now widely reported that China praised the deal, offered full support to Mauritius." Bond didn't hold back. "So, was the Prime Minister misleading the House? And does he still think China is an adversary in this deal? And the final cutting question: if the U.S. were to launch a strike from